Hi everyone, welcome to the CD Cave. I'm Jack Barrio. Today I'm doing my top 10 most underrated albums, and this should be fun. Before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, leave a comment down below, maybe do your own list and leave it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. To get started today, at my number 10 position, Aerosmith, Draw the Line, which is probably not the best Aerosmith period according to a lot of people. But I really love this album. Draw the Line, Kings and Queens had some radio airplay with that. But I Want to Know Why, Critical Mass, Get It Up, Bright Light Fright, The Hand That Feeds, Sight for Sore Eyes, Milk Cow Blues is a great song. This is a great album. This is next to Toys in the Attic. I find this is my favorite album. Worth checking out if you're not familiar with Aerosmith Draw the Line. At number 9, Genesis, Calling All Stations. This too is a great CD. This is Ray Wilson on vocal. There's no Phil Collins here. He had left the band. Congo is a great song on here. This is a great album, even though it doesn't feature Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel on vocals. It's still a great listen. I reach for it quite often. It just doesn't get appreciated enough, I find, by Genesis fans. But I really enjoy it. Worth checking out. At my number 8, going with Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. This would be the last studio recording with Ozzy Osbourne up until the reunion for the studio album 13. This too is another album I listen to quite often. Never Say Die, Johnny Knife is my favorite track on here. This is a great listen, worth checking out. At number 7, one of my favorite bands, Deep Purple, Slaves and Masters. Just to feature also one of my favorite singers, Joel and Turner. Fortunately, they only did the one album, but from Basement, Slaves and Masters, this King of Dreams, this is just a great Deep Purple album. I'm a big fan of Ian Gillan, even David Coverdale, but this is still worth picking up if you're not familiar with it. Slaves and Masters by Deep Purple. At number 6, Bare Trees by Fleetwood Mac. This too is an album that is not recognized very often. There's no Lindsey Buckingham with Stevie Nicks here. They had left the band for a little while, but this is a great listen. All the Stevie Nicks songs on here are really great. If you're not familiar with this album, it's stuck in the middle between their older stuff with Peter Green and the newer stuff with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. This is a great listen, worth checking out. Next, at my number 5, I have Rush, Caress of Steel. Another great album. Unfortunately, stuck between Fly By Night and 2112. It didn't get a lot of recognition. But still another great Rush album, one that I listen to quite often. And another one of those albums that doesn't get enough love by a lot of the fans. It kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But unfortunately, still a great album. Next, at my number 4, Dedicated to Chaos by Queensrÿche. This too is a great album. This is the last album to feature Jeff Tate on it. It's a little different style than the Empire or Operation Mindcrime period, but still I enjoy listening to this album. It's a little funky here and there, which is not something that they did a lot of, but still a great listen. Dedicated Chaos by Queensrÿche. Next, at number 3, Alice Cooper with Dada. This too another great album. Fortunately, a lot of people don't like his 1980s material, but I enjoy his 80s material. I enjoy all his material. This is really worth checking out. It's hard to find on CD and can be quite expensive, but I listen to it quite often. It's not even open this copy. I usually stream it to listen to it. Eventually I plan on opening it. But that's my number 3. My number 2, I'm going to go with Orion the Hunter. This featuring Barry Goudreau from Boston and Fran Cosmo, which would end up singing on Boston's 4th album. And this is a great album. I also have the CD, which is usually what I listen to, is a CD of this. But this is a great album. It's got love the song All Those Years on here. So You Ran had some radio airplay or video play on Much Music at the time. But Stand Up, Dreamin', Dark and Stormy. This is a great album. It's really worth checking out. It's a little difficult to find these days, but if you can find it, pick it up. It's a great listen. If you like Boston, you'll love this. Great album. And my number 1 most underrated album is Sweet, Cut Above the Rest. This is a great album. Next to Desolation Boulevard, this is probably my favorite Sweet album. It didn't get a lot of airplay or push behind it, but it's a great album. It's got Mother Earth, but had some radio airplay, but not a whole lot. Call Me, Play All Night is a great song. Big Apple Waltz. Dorian Gray is great. Hold Me. This Coffiny, which is kind of a cool song the way it's recorded and done. If you're a fan of Sweet, this is really worth checking out. Cut Above the Rest is a great album, especially this album here with the razor blade here, or the splicer. It's actually sticking out from the album. It's elevated. And yeah, if you can find this on vinyl or CD, pick it up. It's a great listen. So there's my list for my top 10 most underrated album. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, take care of yourselves.